Just a short ride today, nothing too fancy. Ride 3, day 3, another glorious day, and this is just a short ride. I'm making the most of it really, I think, before they lock us down completely, which I won't be surprised about in the coming weeks. So yeah, make the most of it, that's what I say. Keep away from people, but try and keep fit, try and keep sane, basically. Okay. Settings are, so it might not be working, but like I say, it's only a short ride today. Seems to do. we're just coming into Southall. Should be interesting. Very quiet, very eerie. Again, great lack of traffic. Unusual for Southall. Another ghost bus. The shops are closed. Amazing. McDonald's is closed. Everyone to their own. Ghost town. This is actually what Sunday used to be like when I was a kid. When we had the Sunday trading laws, only certain shops could open, and some of those shops could only open for maybe the morning or the afternoon. This is very reminiscent of Sunday many years ago. Strange. It's where the old Woolworths shop there. The banks are closed. Post offices are closed. So this is a video for history, I suppose. You can look back. This is the old Oxford Road, or one of the old Oxford roads that went from London to Oxford. Detoured a few places over the years, but this one was always one of the routes out of London to Oxford. Oh, lots of police around. I'm not breaking the law yet. I'm out exercising. That used to be a fantastic cinema there. Again, used to go there Saturday morning, pictures. Used to alternate between the one of the grapes and this one. So it's nice there over the years. It's a store now, I think Lidl's, something like that. There's the Southall police station. In there is the old Southall market, just in there. That was that's a lovely old Georgian pub, still a pub as well, which is quite amazing. Yeah, that Southall market was granted by Charles the, do you know, I can't remember if it was the first or second, but I know it was one of the kings, King Charles's. I've got a funny feeling it was King Charles the First that gave a charter to Southall for that market, and to this day that's why they can't close it down. It's half the size it used to be, but I believe the charter keeps it open. It's still a viable charter that they have to have a market there once a week. There used to be lots of different markets there during the week. The Travellers on a Wednesday used to have an animal market where they used to sell their horses there, and that was quite a sight to go down there. Right down this road they used to park all their horse trailers and then lead their horses into the market and run them up and down by hand to show people what they were like, and then people used to buy them or bid on them, really. There was a bidding on them. And then there was I believe on the Tuesday, it used to be what we used to call the junk market, again where lots of traders in bric-a-brac, junk basically, old radios, TVs, anything you can think of, electrical and non-electrical, they used to sell that by auction as well. That used to be great fun because the dealers there used to have great fun with each other dealing on bits and pieces, which is always good fun. I do wish cyclists wouldn't do that, overtake me on the inside. It really frightens me. All I've got to do is twitch and I could have them off. Yeah, this is going down now to the old iron bridge. This is a nice hill, you don't have to sort of pedal much down here. Then there used to be a lovely pub here, old pub, 30s pub, built in the 30s. And I believe now it's a McDonald's, which is closed. This is the, it's called the Iron Bridge. Again, there used to be a lovely pub here, old pub, 30s pub, built in the 30s, and I believe now it's a McDonald's, which is now closed. Saying he was going to pull out the government's rules on closing shops down, and then made excuses. It was a poor email response, and the response wasn't what he meant, and all that sort of crap. Typical Tory. And yeah, it was shut. He didn't want to pay his bloody Turning off here. I don't want a big long ride. This is Ealing, by the way. I'm turning off here. I don't want a big long ride. It's a nice old pub as well. Mock Tudor, but it's 30s again. I think there might have been a pub on there for many years, but that one's 30s, if not 20s. But it's certainly not Tudor. These cottages here are well over 100 years old. It's an old part of Ealing. I should say Hamwell, sorry. These were shops years ago. There's a very famous music shop down here. I don't know whether it's still here. The Rolling Stones used to visit here, and many top groups used to come here to buy bits and pieces, and used to buy a lot of orchestras used to buy their reeds and things from here. It's a very famous little shop. I don't know whether it's still here. Looks like it's gone. That's a shame. Yeah, it's still a lovely music shop. Yeah, it's gone. Like everything else. I know the owner was quite old, so maybe when he passed away, the shop closed with him. It's usually what happens. It was a specialist shop, so yeah, such is life. What a beautiful day again, amazing. Right, we're going to go down here. Could have gone through the park, but these are nice houses down here. Victorian, and over here is some wonderful old Victorian houses, and up into Ealing, masses and masses of beautiful Victorian and Edwardian houses. Most of them were wrecked during the 60s. But made into flats. A lot of them survived. They're very sought after if they're complete houses now for the wealthy. But, good luck to them, basically. If they're restoring the houses, brilliant. It's better than turning them into little blocks of flats and then ripping people off with high rents. All the children's parks are closed now. That bridge over there is a Brunel bridge, built by Brunel. Isambard Kingdom Brunel. There's quite a few things around here. Just over the back of there, there's a bridge set up. There's 3 bridges across each other. There's a railway bridge underneath, and there's a canal bridge, a canal that runs through the middle. There's a road that goes over the top. And they all crisscross each other. And fascinating. And that was a Brunel bridge as well. And then you have Brunel College, which is in Uxbridge, where my daughter went. That railway up there runs out of Paddington. There's also a wonderful old Gothic church at the end of here as well. Which is good. I've got to double back on myself because the route I want is back down that road. I thought I'd do a little bit of the park rather than the road. There she is there, look. Lovely old church. I don't know if that's been turned into a block of flats yet, I don't know. Some of the big churches around here have been turned into houses. They're fantastic houses. Or flats, I should say, apartments. But I think that's still a church, that one. Beautiful thing. Yeah. I'll go back on myself now. Lovely specimen trees. It's a really nice old thatch cottage down here. Don't see many of them around to the pound now. I think it's just about here. Morning, mate. Look at that, it's lovely, isn't it? Hey. Hold on. Surprise me if that ain't a couple of 100 years old. Oh, we can see it again. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Interesting. I like anything historical. It's a damn sight more interesting than some modern buildings they built today. Sterile, square boxes, basically, with air conditioning and the windows don't open. I know, because I worked in an office like that once. It drove me mad. I was allowed to get out of it. If one person got a cold, everybody got it. Used to go around the centre, used to go around the air conditioning unit. So suck it up one end of the room and blow it on people at the other end. So they got a cold. Then you used to get air conditioning wars where people would turn it off and then somebody would go and turn it on and then somebody would go and so on until there was an argument. And then the manager had to step in. Morning. Thank God I'm not in that regime anymore. Being retired, I'm out of all that crap. Oop. Sometimes a bit of a tight squeeze. Oh, that one looks wider. That's better. When I went down that bump just now, I don't know whether I pushed the camera forward. I can actually see it. Oh. Yeah. That looks alright. That looks alright. This virus is like all the science fiction films you've ever seen. Coming true, the killer virus. Da 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 da. Shows you how small we really are, isn't it? A tiny unseen little virus can cause so much panic and death.
Out of the way.
It's funny how over the years as well the panic has changed, really, isn't it? The panic has become more civilised. In the old days, in medieval times, when there was plagues like this, we didn't understand it like we don't actually understand this virus. We know it's a virus. They didn't know it was a virus, actually, back in medieval times. They thought it was vapours, bad vapours. So they would light fires in the streets, wear these masks like they're wearing now that really don't do any good. They didn't do any good then either. And then the church used to sell special holy water at exorbitant prices. They used to make a lot of money out of that. And then you had the guys on the street selling potions that contained horse's piss and God knows what else. Actually killed more people than the plague did, apparently. But whether that was true or not, I don't know. But it wasn't a good thing to drink them. At least we're not digging big pits yet to bury the dead. Give it time. Morning. It's funny how you can say good morning to some people, like I say that. Some people just ignore you, which is the norm really in this country, but I've noticed that most people will say good morning now. The majority of people I've said good morning to this morning, they acknowledged me. Others look at you as though you've gone mad, as though you want something, which, as I said in the video before, is quite common in this country. If somebody did talk to you, they usually wanted something. But it's changing. It's changing. Wonderful. So you see the best in people and the worst in people at times like this. And thankfully there's more best of people. It's staggering, isn't it, that we're having weather like this at a time of this crisis. If it was peeing down the road or snowing, you're giving more emphasis to stay indoors. But when it's like this, really, you're just itching to get out. But there's nobody about. Yeah, amazing. A touch of hay fever again this morning. I had the hay fever spray, that's what I use, but this time of year it even sort of defeats that to a little bit. I can just feel it in the back of my sinuses. My eyes start to get a bit gummy when I get hay fever. And tonight, after this ride, or this afternoon I should say, after this ride, my eyes will begin to close up and get puffy, and I'll end up with a headache. And but it's worth it. It's worth getting out in this sunshine. It's worth living. I find a little bit of discomfort at the end of the day. I can always go and lay in bed and listen to an audiobook, take 2 headaches, 2 painkillers and go to bed. So, day 3, no virus yet. Time to tell. The blossoms of these trees are wonderful. I know the Americans that watch these videos are quite fascinated by the housing over here. I can always remember my American friend Jay, who who came over that was astonished at how closely packed we all are together in this country. And then when I went to America, I was amazed at the spaces between houses and estates and things like that. Except for when I went to New York, I enjoyed that. That was good. I drove across America with Jay, who lives in Norfolk, Nebraska, one horse town where the horse had left because it was bored, and got a car and drove right the way across to Yellowstone Park. Great memories, fantastic time. Slept in the car when we couldn't get a hotel, and I was always amazed that we'd look on the map and I'd say, oh look, there's a little town there where we might be able to get a hotel, and Jay would say, there's only 8 people live there. Yes, totally fascinating. Hope you're watching, Jay. Hello mate, I hope you're okay and everything is well for you out there. And Dick, haven't spoke to Dick for a long time. Hope he's well, because he's getting on a bit now and he's got to be in his 80s. Anyway, keep well, Jay. I always miss this bit. This is going down towards Greenford now. Another ghost bus. Many years ago, during the Second World War, just along here, I don't know if it's still there, it's the remains of a pub that was hit by a stray bomb when the Germans were returning back home after raids. If they had any bombs, they'd just drop them anywhere. And it was just unlucky that a stray bomb got dropped here. I think it's just in there. There used to be a pub. The sign used to be there when I was a kid. I've never really looked for it, but it was in there and it blew at smithereens. And all the roofs in all these houses around here, the older ones, all fell in. So many of these houses didn't have ceilings for years. So this is Greenford. Lots of people wearing masks. Personal choice. Can't see the point in it myself. But everybody does what they feel they need to do. Now I've made a mistake, I'm in the wrong lane. I think I got away with that. I'm in a bike box. It's just there. Used to be a fantastic 30s pub there. They've all disappeared now, all these pubs. Incredible really. They knocked it down and built that, which is ugly basically. It's got no nicety about it at all. Where there used to be a really beautiful pub there. Bit of 30s architecture. Look at that one. How ugly is that? It's not too bad down this side. Again, all the shops is closed. Most of the buses are empty. And queuing up, look for money. One of my favourite uncles used to live here, my Uncle Reg, and shame he, I don't know if he's still alive or not, he turned into an alcoholic. in a bit of a state, I think. But I used to adore going to visit him on my bike. There's a queue there, look, for the chemist, I think. Yeah, when my mum was ill, I actually went to stay with him, I think about 2 weeks, and he always wanted a son, I think, and yeah, it's so great fun. As soon as I'm out of breath, just that hill's a little killer. Yeah. Slow down then. They're too busy watching me. Because he was watching me and he went up the arse of another car. Then he's got the balls to bib him as though it's his fault. That's funny. Such is life. Friendly greeting from a pedestrian. Another one bibbing me for God knows why. Bloody road's empty and he's bibbing me. Weird, isn't it? We've all seen it. We're riding bikes. It's just that they don't like bikes. I think they're jealous. They're too unfit and fat to get out on one. I'm fit and I'm fat. But I'm fit. I've got to go on a diet actually. Bad news. That's why I've come out on the bike again really. Sitting down writing books is not conducive to losing weight. In fact, you're very much prone to nibble on things as you think, like biscuits, and nip downstairs for some cereals, buy a bar of chocolate. So now I'm not writing, it's time to shift some fat off my belly. I could do with a pee as well. That's between me and you, alright? It's quite funny, when I started making videos with the Zeros, the little square cameras, people started moaning that I didn't talk. So that's why I decided on these 3 videos really to concentrate on a flip cam so you can hear me waffling on talking crap. Yeah, never take yourself seriously. That's a tip from me. Never take what I write on Facebook seriously either. Most of it's crap. I'm bored. And I'm honest. Honesty is the greatest thing in the world. Laugh at yourself. Don't take yourself seriously. Enjoy every day as it comes. And try and be nice to people. If you're nice to people, they're nice to you. Well, most of the time. You do meet the odd arsehole, but that's life. I tell you what I do miss though, I miss Barry and Adrian. It's not so much that I miss their company, it's the abuse. They're constantly abusing me. I may say not physically, just verbally. Oh dear, yeah. So yeah, I miss their company, but hopefully in a couple of months' time I might get out on a celebratory run. I'll get Adrian to dig his trike out, and I know Barry will be up for a trike ride. He's up for any ride. Oh, Bazza, great lad. But I think Adrian, like me, has had other things to do over the last year, because he's just retired as well. So life has a tendency to change a little bit. These were built during the war, these were houses that housed people that had been blitzed during the war. They were put up really fast. They put cladding on them a few years ago, but they're sort of put together as slabs, like the little prefabs. I used to see a lot of them, Second World War prefabs. Oh, there's something coming down here. Oh, let's stop. Oh, another one. Fantastic. Hope that's not my house. Oh, didn't see you then, brother. There you go, all clear. Well, I hope you don't mind me chattering on, because it's lonely, and I'm used to talking to myself anyway, because the wife's at work. Now, as I said yesterday, my wife is working in a nursery along with her colleagues, looking after children of necessary jobs and from the NHS, and I think she's doing, or they're doing, an amazing job really, because let's face it, they're putting themselves in harm's way. You don't know if their parents will have it and give it to the children, because they're going to the hospital, they're working in a hospital, bringing it, might give it to the children, give it to them, then they might bring it home to me. But as I said yesterday, I'm a little bit concerned about that, but this has got to happen, hasn't it? You know, life's got to go on, and I certainly wouldn't tell my wife to stay at home, because she'd just ignore me anyway and probably beat me up. Tell me to mind my own business. No, she's a good, no, great wife I've got, Helen. I couldn't do a lot of the things I do without her, I tell you. She's my eyes, and she controls me. And I do need controlling from time to time. I admit it. Oh dear. Behind every man's a good woman. Except for Trump. She's probably a good woman, but she doesn't stand a chance with a prat like Trump, let's face it. I mean, it's wonderful, isn't it? I mean, it's got to be the funniest thing, the greatest show on earth. It's better than The Simpsons, really. I mean, what he's just been coming out with about opening the country up for Easter, it's all about him. It's not about the people. It's all about how he's disliked and being lied about, and, you know, it's hilarious. I can't help it. It's so funny. I feel so sorry for some of the Americans, you know, they must feel so embarrassed. I mean, every time he opens his mouth, it's hilarious. And what I quite like is all the people that stand behind him with straight faces. But if you look into their eyes, you can actually see them thinking, oh hell, what's he going to say now? What crap are we going to have to mask over or mop up? It's a bit like Boris, really. His aide called himself the pooper scooper because of all the gaffes that Boris did over the years when he was in cabinet and stuff like that, opening his mouth and saying stupid things. I've got a good memory. It's funny how politics. I love listening to politics, but I don't like it. Well, I don't get involved in it in a certain way. I like to listen to the bullshit basically and pick it out because they're very clever at that. Most of it's to safeguard themselves, especially what's going on at the moment. People believe that Boris is in charge, when if you listen to what he says, it's over to the expert, over to the expert. It's all driven by the experts, not me. Just in case it all goes wrong, it's the experts I'm following. And yeah, there's lots of yawning, gaping holes if you look into it at the moment. People are going, oh, isn't he wonderful? But no. Yeah, okay. Enough of that. Beautiful day. Beautiful day. I'm on the way home now. Didn't want to go out for a long ride today. Anyway, you're probably bored with me talking now. Fantastic. All this used to be farmland when I was a kid. There wasn't a house in sight when I was a kid, it was all cows and farmland. And where I live used to be the farmhouse. Get a lot of druggies around here as well, a lot of drugger. You get a lot of people selling drugs around here. Especially there's an underpass. There's like a Hayes bypass and there's a couple of underpasses. And you can go down there on Wednesdays and Tuesdays at certain times and see the dealers selling their drugs, the morphine and cocaine and all that sort of crap to the mugs. I suppose at the moment they're not doing too well, are they? In some cities you can ring up and get it delivered. Apparently. Yes, I'll have 2 Cokes and a morphine, please. Yes, sir. I'll deliver that within the hour. Thank you very much. Credit card? Yes. Visa Express. That'll do nicely, sir. Thank you. Oh, could still do with a pee. I should make it home actually. Let's hope I can make it home. One of those tablets I'm taking is wonderful. As I said yesterday, I feel like a new man. So if I wasn't taking the tablets, I'd be hiding in one of these bushes by now. More than once on this ride, about 3 or 4 times. It's certainly changed my life. Try it. You too can fix your bladder with a pill. Incontinence? No. Go to the doctors, get a pill. It works. Oh, let's go. I'm always frightened of electronic cars when I do that because I'm listening and you think, yeah, electronic cars at the last minute. I'd hate to die being killed by an electronic car. All this bloody virus, come to think of it. Blossoms. Like I say, there wasn't a house over here. In fact, on here, used to be brickworks, and most of the bricks in London came from here. We have a particularly good clay here, apparently. And when I was a kid, there used to be big clay pits, and during the winter they used to flood, and we used to make rafts out of plastic drums and wood and go sailing on them. It's a wonder we didn't kill us. I've got to go across the road here. There you go. That's it, no one coming. Yeah, we used to get old plastic drums and bits of wood and tie them all together and play pirates out on these water. The funny thing is, they were only about 2 or 3 foot deep, so if we fell in, which we did sometimes, you only come up to our thighs or our knees, so it wasn't that dangerous. That was good fun. The things that we used to do as kids, I feel really sorry that the kids of today don't do them. They just don't have the chance to do them anymore. Silly things we used to go up to. We used to get 6-inch nails and hammer them into trees so we could climb up them. And we used to spend hours up in trees. There was an old lane here, just around here. It's all gone now, that's all built up. And there must have been about 20 odd big oak trees, really old oak trees. And we used to, like say, drive 6-inch nails into them so we give us a footholds in the tree so we could climb up them. And then we used to climb up them. And sometimes you'd look up in a tree and you'd see about 10 kids at different places in a tree, all just sitting there talking to each other. It was just and then we used to go over the fields and steal our father's shovels. We used to go and nick a shovel and go over the fields and dig bloody great pits and cover them over with tarpaulin and stuff. We used to build camps. And I can still go over there now and see the remnants of the pits we used to build. A lot of them sort of over the years filled themselves in again. But I can still see the remnants of some of them. And the woods over the other side where we used to build these camps, there's a brook runs through it. I showed it in the video yesterday, Yedding Brook. At any one time, there used to be hundreds of kids in there playing during the summer holidays. And it was just awash with kids everywhere, and at certain times of the day we'd all run home for dinner, run in and have some dinner and then run back out again and over the fields to carry on playing. Fantastic, but doesn't happen now. We were a lot more streetwise in them days as kids. You know, we knew when there was a little bit of danger. We knew what sort of people to keep away from. And we were in groups as well, so you know, we weren't on our own. If we went to the pictures, we were always a little group of us. So like I say, when we were over the fields, there was groups of us, we all sort of protected each other. So no, I think it's a shame that the kids are not as social in play as they used to. They get social in school, but when you're on your own as groups of kids, you learn about life, especially when you find a rude magazine. We used to find, some of the older boys used to bring a porno mag over, and we'd all look at it in wonderment. You know, as 8-year-olds, you know, what the hell? Oh dear, I'm letting all my secrets out now, aren't I? What a bad childhood I had. Oh, that's enough of waffle for me anyway. I'm nearly home now. So anyway, keep well, keep safe, and good luck to you. And let's hope you vote Trump out at the next elections. God, I'd hate to see a grown man cry. I think he would. Bye. Whew, just to let you know, my bladder held out until I got home. Them pills are marvellous.